Welcome in to this edition of the Cavalier Connection, the episode number 2 of our best of episodes. I'm Jeff. Today's episode is Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh, what a great interview that was. Very entertaining. Something you definitely don't want to miss. Before we get to that, I do want to mention this episode is brought to you by Mincers. Are you headed to catch a Who's baseball game? Maybe lacrosse is more your speed. Either way, before you hit the stands, make sure you stop Mincers at Mincers on the Corner. Since 1948, Mincers has been the go-to spot for Wahoo fans. Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, or lacrosse, they've got all the gear you need to show off your UVA pride and do it in style. From vintage throwbacks to the freshest new drops, Mincers has it all. And it's not just about the look. Their gear is high quality, built to last through every win, loss, and everything in between. They've got 2 convenient spots, one right on the corner in Charlottesville and another at the Stonefields Shopping Center. Not local? No problem. Just hit them up at mincers.com and rep the Who's from wherever you are. Don't just cheer for the Who's. Look like you belong on the team. That's Mincers. So, we got Dougie Fresh. We're going to play quite a long portion of his interview because there's too much entertainment in there to cut much of that out. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And here we go.
To be on it, I've heard, I saw, and just for everybody to know, I shamelessly asked these guys if I could be on their podcast. They didn't ask me. I reached out somewhere because I heard they were doing big things and cool things and people like it. So I got to be.
We thought you were too big for us, though.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
I get it.
We appreciate it.
Look, Jay and I watched your whole career, and it's just a pleasure for us to
awesome.
to be able to talk to you. From doing this show, we've been able to meet some. We had Junior Burrow on, and I was texting with, and I'm just like, man, if what was I about 13 at the time? The 13-year-old me said I was me texting Junior Burrow and Doug Smith. I'm like, I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
Hey, me and Junior text all the time, and I still don't know what to do with myself. So that makes total sense, dude. Hey, Junior is my favorite teammate. He's like the greatest. So
he was hilarious to talk to.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, he doesn't stop talking. I'll tell you a funny thing. The Junior. So I was in New York working, and Junior was playing basketball, I think in Italy or somewhere after his NBA career. And we came back to U-Haul, we're at a game, and we're just like brothers, the whole thing. And he's like, "Oh, Fresh, I'm in Italy. I get these suits and all this stuff." And now I had a Brazilian girlfriend at the time, so I started learning Portuguese because I'm cultural. So I'm like, "June, that's all fun, but are you learning Italian?" He's like, "White boy, I speak one language. It's called Black Southern." Dude, he's the quickest, best, funniest guy, and I know you guys got a lot of that. I'll tell you, my recruitment was weird because I'm the same age, same year as Kenny Anderson, Bobby Hurley, Nick Van Exel. I can go on and on. And the way recruiting worked back then is everybody waited for Kenny. I think Bobby Hurley was Duke early, and then Kenny was Georgia Tech. And then it kind of fell, and nobody really knew about me. And I had a really good tournament in Memphis in high school, and we beat Anthony Hardaway's team, who was a sophomore. So that's, Memphis Trivia. And then everybody at the end of the recruitment who didn't have a point guard all started calling me. And I had the power schools like the Citadel and Arkansas State and all these guys all over me. But now Virginia came, Purdue, Vanderbilt came back and all this. And I was like the last guy to fill a hole, And so when Coach Terry Holland offered me a scholarship in Nashville when they were in the Sweet 16, and I said, "You know what? I'll think about it, Coach." Which was no, obviously. So then, that's kind of how it happened.
Okay.
Awesome.
So you played for Terry Holland and Jeff Jones.
Yes.
Coach Holland left after your freshman year?
Yeah, he told us the summer of my going into my first year he would be out. It was me, Ted Jeffries, Chris Havlicek, Sean Wilson, Terry Kirby, and Blair Ford coming in. So we were kind of, we didn't know. Imagine today if something happened, we'd probably like file a lawsuit, but we were like,
Oh yeah. So what's the difference between those two coaches, Jeff Jones and in coaching styles, and Terry Holland?
Coach Holland was the consummate, they call him like the Virginia gentleman, which is it's not fake. He was just, on my recruiting trip to Virginia, I didn't know, like, I wasn't a Virginia fan. I'm from Tennessee, right? But I went there and I had breakfast at his house, and it was me and Brian Stitt. And wow. Coach Holland is making waffles. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I've seen the guy on TV. I don't care about his team or like him. I know Ralph Sampson and Jeff Jones and
right.
But this is crazy to me. And then I'm with Brian Stitt, who I saw play in the ACC tournament, who I didn't even know him, but he was, my favorite guy in the world. So Coach Jones played there, and he was our assistant, and he was always he was more competitive with us. He was like an older brother, and he'd play pickup with us a little bit and 3-on-3, and we weren't friends. It was like competing. Coach Holland was very fatherly, I guess is the way to say it, and Coach Jones. In terms of the basketball stuff, they weren't very different. I know Coach Jones, he changed some things in terms of like I think we ran a little bit more, or we tried to a little more that way, and they're both ridiculous basketball minds in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. I think that's why people like Tony Bennett, aside from that he wins so much. But he takes people back, like my age, to the Terry Holland, Jeff Jones defensive teams that had enough offense to get the job done. So, Virginia, just that rugged defense is what it's always been known for, to me.
Man. Oh, Jay, that's awesome you say that, because one thing that doesn't annoy me, and I love Coach Bennett and Jason and everybody else, but I'm like, you guys don't remember how good we were on defense back in the day.
Yep.
Like, we played D, and we were having a discussion on Locker Room Access today, how defense is different. Back then, we predicated it on help defense, and the posts were so good back then. Let's go. Eric Montross, Dale Davis. Who else you want to do? So we had to defend them in a different way. But our defense was really good, and it annoyed me leading up to the Final Four a little bit, saying Virginia's never been good. Well, first of all, Ralph Sampson, that's way up there. But we were really good teams, right? And we have chats, with our teammates and stuff, and Jeff Jones, and JJ always said we were really good because we never had to double post to post. He trusted his post defenders, Ted Jeffries, Kenny Turner, go on and on, right? To like man up and play. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. So you played with some all-timers. Jeff's favorite player of all time, just full disclosure, John Crotty.
He's
Brian
behind
Stitt,
I get it. No, you're not wrong there.
Jason Williford.
Who
Anthony
else?
Oliver,
Let's go. Let's keep going.
Cornell Parker.
Wait, who
Jeffries.
likes Kenny? Who likes Kenny?
Oh yeah. So
what's that?
You're drafting a team.
Yeah.
Give me your top 3 picks.
Top 3?
The guys that you played with.
Brian says.
Yeah.
I would go. I will tell you. I would go Brian Stitt.
I think he's a
Crotty's
no-brainer.
hard to turn down, but I'm going to say Corey Alexander when he's healthy in his prime.
Okay.
And just to balance it out, Cornell Parker.
Oh wow.
You got some defense right there.
You got some defense.
Somebody's got to play defense because Cornell's not playing. Brian, he will, but he needs help. You got to have. Junior's hard to leave out.
Junior
will be the assistant coach.
There you go.
That's a great question. I love the 3. You locked me into the 3.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you, just for Jeff's sake, can you give me a good karate story?
I'll tell you the best karate story. So
Right.
I come in, he'll be a junior, right? My first year, he's a junior. So we played 2 years together. And we played every day in practice. I'm the backup point guard. There's no chance. There's no chance I'm going to start. And the coach told me that. And he doesn't give you an inch the whole time, whatever. Fast forward, 2019, we're in Minneapolis.
Oh boy.
Me, John Crotty, and Kenny Turner, a place called the Loon Cafe. I don't know if you guys were in Minnie or not. Doesn't matter. And this ate at me all these years because me and Crotty, we've been good friends, and we go down to the Jersey Shore together, and we do things. And he's always like, "Oh, me and Dougie Fresh, we battled in practice. He was great." I'm like, "Crot, I wasn't that great. You used to kill me." So I'm sitting with him and Turner, and I go, "Crot, I'm 7 years old, 45. I got to say this to you. I played in the ACC. I played college basketball, and I played against All-Americans, Sam Cassell, Corey Ellis, and I could get them every now and again. You're the only MFer I couldn't get." He's trying to be like modest. Haha, it's fun. That's cool. And Kenny Turner looks at me. He goes, "Fresh, don't worry about it." Crotty did it to everybody. He wouldn't let them. He'd put them in their back pocket from day one, from the run, the morning run, to practice. So Crotty, when I was the first year and second year behind him, if I came in the game and I had a turnover or did something bad, I'm coming out. When I did something good, he would check himself back in so I couldn't be good, and he'd take me out.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's funny.
I was like, but you know what he really was in college basketball for me was he was a great teacher. He'd grab me and say, "Hey, play Chris Corciani this way, do this guy this way." And he's exceptional, man. A crazy freak. He's a freak athlete. People don't realize. Long arms, 360 dunk. I couldn't do that. So sorry.
Yeah,
I tried over.
I didn't realize, I'm sure I did at the time, that he was a McDonald's All-American.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure I knew it at the time, but looking up stuff for tonight, I was like, oh wow, I did not realize that.
Yeah. And they tell stories. If you guys remember the 5-star basketball camp, Crotty's a nut. Like whatever he's doing, I guess he used to dive on the pavement at 5-star on loose balls and on pavement, not on wood or anything else.
Oh gosh!
Whatever he does, he's 100% into it all the time.
It's crazy because his NBA career, I'm watching flipping Utah Jazz games, Miami Heat games, Portland Trail, but just hoping to get a glimpse. And like on a Sunday afternoon, John Crotty will come in and all of a sudden have one of these crazy games off the bench and score points. And that was just my guy. It still is. Jack can tell you.
Oh yeah. I can tell you, he's been on the hunt for my whole lifetime. Every sports memorabilia store we've ever been into, all he wants is a John Crotty jersey. Whether it's an NBA John Crotty jersey, a UVA John Crotty, that's all he wants in his life.
Oh man, do they exist even? I don't even know.
We've tried. We've looked online.
What do you guys? I'm gonna throw it back at you. What do you guys think Crotty's point guard greatest attribute was?
This is for
skill as a point guard. I'll tell you what it is. But go ahead. I want to hear what you guys say. One skill. It's very specific.
Well, passing.
More basic.
I mean, for his size, he finished in traffic well too. I mean,
very, very basic and specific. He had that crossover, dude. He never dribbled between his legs. He never went behind his back. He just looked at you and crossed over, left to right, right to left.
That's a great point. Yeah.
And he had these bony shoulders and elbows, and he was long. He was athletic, man. It was a really good experience for me to learn from. Like, I don't think Chris Corciani would have helped me like that. King Rice, those guys. Crowd was really good, man. Socially and athletically, for the record.
So socially, what?
I mean, athletically and socially, Cry was just he was like the consummate UVA guy. That's all. He could throw a good party. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
There you go.
So we know you guys just had the big party at Jeff Jones's place, the big reunion in Norfolk. I think you actually set that up, if I'm not mistaken. But how was that?
I take credit for it.
And any
That's
stories
right.
that you can share?
Oh, I can share all of them. So I think in 2018 we started doing it, and then I went in 19. So the joke is with the whole crew that it's because of me and I set it up, and I haven't been able to go, but I've gone twice now. Anyhow, this year was very, very special. We're past the 2020 where travel restrictions, etc. So we had 80s and 90s, a little bit of 70s there. So Jimmy Miller, Ricky Stokes, all JJ's guys, and then all of us. So the crew it's pretty much my years. So like late 80s, early 90s through like Norm Nolan, Curtis Staples, as far as to Willie Dersh, who couldn't go this year. Anyhow, stories. It's just like everybody talks their shit and has their stories, but guess what? The only one who thinks he's right, no matter what he says, is Corey Alexander.
I knew that's what you were gonna say.
And so we're like, so Corey, we're playing NC State, and this he is no. He goes, Fresh, you guys drank. I never drank. So here's how it really happened. I'm like, all right, you're right. NIL, I think that now Corey. But it's perfect. And this time was really special because I'll tell you, Jason Williford, his two sons were there. Junior Burrow, his son was there. Cornell Parker's daughter and son were there. I'm missing somebody. I'm going to forget it. But it was really at this age, right? And I have big kids and little kids, just to be able to hang out with them and talk to them and tell them that I could crush them in ping pong. Although I'm 10 Coors Lights deep, I'm not playing you in ping pong right now, but I could. It's just special, man.
That's awesome. Did y'all go go somewhere, or was it just at Coach Jones's house?
Nah, Coach Jones, man, I'm gonna tell you something about Jeff Jones. When I played for him, I didn't know if we were friends. We weren't friends. The second I was done my last game and graduated, I was like his best friend from him. He's the loyalist. He's like the loyalist to his guys that you know. And you see it with Jimmy Miller back and the guy named Tim Mullen, who I'd never met, and Dan Merrifield. But he's, coming to his house to eat and the whole thing back in the day. And he's all about it, man. So it's absolutely the best.
Did he, when he had his heart attack this past year, how did you guys get together at that point, or
not physically, but we have a WhatsApp group chat it's about 30 people at this point. So assistants and this, and it's family stuff, isn't it? I'll say, teams say family, brotherhood, not to call any teams to call themselves the brotherhood, but this is real stuff, and we all look out for each other, and there's some side chats. I'm sure Corey's telling somebody his truth somewhere else. He's not telling me. That's a joke. But yeah, we get the information about each other, and as life is real, it's as real for you guys as it was for guys who played basketball or football or lacrosse or Virginia, right? And it's a tight group, man. So yeah, we found out. I'm good friends with his wife, Danae, and stuff like that, so I can talk to her. But yeah, he was fine. He was lucky. His brother-in-law, Danae's brother, is a cardiologist, and he was there.
Wow.
And so for people who want to know, I spent about 4 days in Norfolk City, JJ at Coach Jones' house, and we walked the dogs every day. We hung out every day and did stuff. He's great. He's on a great diet. He wouldn't eat my famous pasta bolognese because he doesn't eat pasta anymore. And, he's doing all that. He makes an unreal chicken, by the way. Me, Norm Nolan, and Jr. were there on Sunday, I think, evening, and he killed it. So
Yeah,
Awesome.
Jay and I went to we grew up Virginia fans, and we went to college. Excuse me, college at ODU, and so when he got that job at ODU, and the first game I went to, and Jeff Jones is coaching, and Bryant Stith is on the staff, I'm like, are you kidding me?
I mean, are you kidding me?
Right.
That's JJ's thing, though. He wants all of his guys back with him a little bit to a fault. In my opinion, he's like, Anthony Oliver's son went back to play for him. Bryant's 2 kids went back to play for him.
Right.
My son's a soccer player. He moved here from Brazil and he played somewhere else, but he's like, Fresh, get him down here. I got him. He wants all of his people together, man, which is really cool. So I've grown very fond of ODU. I like Woods. I like Wood a lot. And he was in our.
Wasn't he?
He was at UVA with me, and he still looks like he's 13 years old, right? And he's the AD at ODU. Great guy. And I can give you stories about him, whatever, in a good way, how he's treated me and all those guys. Norwood T, who became the AD at Minnesota, really close with JJ. And JJ loves Cornell's there, Jamal Robinson's there, Junior's there. All those guys are down there, man. He loves it. He's really a loyal guy, man. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, in our opinions, you played basketball during the golden age of the ACC. So we're going to ask a series of questions, and we just want you to share your thoughts on some of these questions about people you played with and against. So who would you say is the overall?
Jack. Your opinion is exactly right. I did play in the golden age, so let's go.
Yeah.
And you can tell Jeff and I wrote these questions, not Jeff.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on, Jack. Let's see your delivery.
So,
right?
who would you say is the overall best player you ever played against in college?
Oh my gosh. Against, not on my team, right?
Right.
Yeah.
There's something. So for me, head to head, this is out of left field. Nobody will know this. There's a guy named Tony Smith who played for Marquette. And I was a backup point guard, Jack. I know you can't believe that. You thought I was a starter and the star and the whole. I was a backup. I come in, and this dude named Tony Smith at Marquette, he was a pro. He played for the Lakers. I think his right name, Tony Smith. We only played him twice, but he was one guy I couldn't mess with. A close second was Bimbo Coles because he turned me around 4 different times in one move. My first year. But I'm going to more, closer to who I played against a lot. Sam Cassell, for my position, was just
Bobby Sturrow
really,
on that team.
really.
Did you play Sturrow?
Bobby Sturrow. Oh, you can go on about that Florida State team. But Sam was a consummate pro in college. I thought he was also 29 years old in college, in my opinion. I'm kidding, but he was really, he was just in control. I couldn't. There's very few guys I couldn't mess with, but Sam Cassell, Tony Smith, I just couldn't. I couldn't be a factor.
Gotcha. Who would you say is the most overhyped player you ever played against?
Other than Corey Alexander. Oh,
it's definitely Corey. I used to kill him in practice. Corey used to fake injury. He'd be like, he came in one day. He's like, Fresh, I don't feel so good today, man. I'm sick. I'm like, Corey, are you okay? And he went back door and dunked in my head. I'm like, come on, Steve. That's cheating. The most overrated.
Him against Sam Cassell.
You know what? This is going to be the worst answer ever, and I shouldn't say it. But it's as far as head to head, and I think it's because he didn't care or respect me. Was Bobby Hurley?
Oh wow!
Now he's a top 5 point guard in the history of the game in college basketball. I will never deny it. But when I came in, he thought he could kind of rest and and I was like, "You're not that strong or tough or whatever."
Right.
But let's not go on. I don't want to go on record saying who's overrated because he's beyond not overrated.
Well, it's overhyped, so maybe not overrated, but
all right. He was definitely hyped.
Who would you say is the dirtiest player you ever played against?
Oh, the referees. Larry Rose.
There you go.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You say Larry Rose?
I don't. Hey, remember Larry Rose?
Oh yeah, I worked with
I think
him.
it was Larry Rose.
He's from my
I'll tell you a
hometown.
story. I'm guarding of all people. Yeah. Hey, of all people, my second or third year, I'm guarding Walt Williams of Maryland. We're in a box and one. And why am I guarding him? I don't know. We're on the baseline, and I'm like trying my best and pushing him. He's 6'9", I'm 6'1", maybe. And he keeps hitting me with the elbow in my head. And Larry Rose is like, Smith, lay off. I'm like, dude, he just elbowed me in my head 3 times. So I drilled him. He called a foul on me. I'm like, come on. The dirtiest play that happened to me was from a great player who I respect and love, Chris Whitney. If you guys remember that at Clemson. You remember Chris Whitney, guys? He played about 12 years in the NBA. And we were boys like, hey, Fresh, what's up? And I go up and shoot a jump shot. He punched me right in the face.
Oh wow!
I'm like, damn, Chris, but he was. I don't think he was dirty. I don't remember dirty guys like that. You know, we were physical back then. Jack, you know, we didn't have safe places and all that. We could like do what we wanted to do. So I don't think anybody was dirty. Grayson Allen, I'll say that.
Yep.
So you played behind Crotty, and he leaves, and Corey Alexander comes in.
Yeah.
Could it have been a worse time to come to UVA to get playing time as a guard?
You know what, man? You're probably right. Nah, but I tell you what I learned in those. So behind Crotty, I was strictly a backup point guard, and the coaches told me, since Coach Holland, are you shooting threes? Do you want to? And I didn't grow. You know, back then we had this discussion earlier on locker room access. Back then, point guards were setup guys like, you know, Derek Phelps and, you know, guys like Corey changed it. They could shoot threes. And I finally became unstubborn when Corey got the starting job, and I thought I could get it, and I couldn't. That's fine. I was like, if I want to be on the court, I got to do what these guys have said for the last 2 years, is to start shooting and making threes. And it's a funny thing because it wasn't very hard for me to do. But in high school, I never shot threes. My team was really, really good. And we won probably 92% of our games. But we had a system, and my system was to pass the ball and, you know, make layups or mid-range and not shoot threes. But I was able to do it, and that meant I was able to play with Corey on the court, right? And by my last year, if you guys look at the stats or whatever, I played 25 minutes. I could sub one of 3 positions: Cornell, Parker, Jason Williford, our great coach, and Corey, right? And so it kind of became that, and I became a 3-point shooter, and I got really good at it. And I'm kind of amazed in a way that it wasn't hard to do. When you think about guys now who can or cannot shoot threes or free throws, whatever, I got good at it. So I forgot the question, but I think I catwalked a little there and answered it.
No, it's hard to believe that you weren't a 3-point shooter earlier on, because Jack, he could really shoot the 3, and you would really excel in the game today, because that's all anybody does anymore.
I appreciate that. It's funny. People always say that, and I don't give myself that much credit. But I tell you what I could do. I could really dribble, and you guys didn't see that at Virginia. In high school, I was like a magician dribbling and passing. But it was very different in Virginia. I could dribble, take care of the ball, and I could make open shots, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'll give you guys a funny story. A few years ago, a lot of years ago now, I was at UVA, and I brought a bunch of buddies, you know, a family, 2 families down, and Jason Williford graciously gave us tickets, which will never happen again. It's so sold out now.
Yeah.
And we're on the floor, and I'm with these big, like, Wall Street, New York guys who are with me, and we're on the court, and they're so gracious and happy. And I'm like, Jason, I'm trying to think, would I even play today? And we're in the middle of JPJ. And he passes me a basketball. He says, Fresh, shoot it. You guys, I swear to you, I made it from 3. Not more. It was like a gift from God. I made it. He goes, "Fresh, you play." So that's all I need. And look, all right, I'm gonna toot my horn for a minute. So my last year, I'm telling you guys, from November. So November was early back then, right? November through January, I did not miss a shot in a game or in practice. I think I shot like 50% from three. I didn't miss one shot in practice. But then don't look at the end of the season because I started missing. I didn't miss a shot. And Coach Brian Ellerby, it was a joke among us. We'd be doing drills, and I'd catch him, and he'd be like, good. It's a weird thing. It just like I got in a good rhythm, man. That was strong, all that, in shape.
I was gonna say you might not have started games, but you finished a lot of them.
I did
at the end. So.
Nah, I appreciate that. That became really important to me, man. Being on the court, and being on the sideline, playing a lot, not playing a lot, playing a little, and then getting better, and then finishing. And the coaches, I think there was an article where JJ said, or Corey maybe, it's important is ball handling, and I was the free throw guy at the end. By the end of my time, so that was cool, man. It's all very important to me,
For sure.
Which of your Virginia teams did you feel was the most talented?
Oh, definitely. It's got to be my third year. But Corey, Junior, Jason, Yuri, they were just first years, right? They were freshmen. But the talent, Brian Smith and Anthony Oliver and us, that was the most talented for sure. In my opinion.
Was that the NIT championship team?
That was, exactly. Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
it was so bad for us not to get Bryant into the NCAA. But I'll tell you something, Bryant, once we went to the NIT, we were all kind of like spring break starting. It's not this, let's not really take a charge or dive on loose balls. And Bryant's like, nope, we're winning this motherfucker. And Bryant put us legitimately on his back. We came to New York, which I'm right near here now, and we won it and had an absolute blast. And Bryant, it shows you his character.
Oh, for sure.
And Anthony Oliver, both those guys, they wouldn't let us lose. I tried to lose. I want to go to Daytona Beach with my girlfriend.
So what was it like playing in U-Haul in comparison to some of the other ACC arenas?
It's funny. U-Haul grows on you. Like, I'll tell you a good story after, but so U-Haul, if you guys remember, I used to wear a T-shirt underneath because it was always freezing. Kenny Turner, your guy, he wore a sweatshirt under his practice jersey. It was so cold.
Oh, wow.
And for some reason, I'm not sure if it was cold or heat or whatever, there were flies everywhere, dead on the floor. But once you get used to it after a year or two, it becomes a big time home advantage because it wasn't a shithole, but it was a shithole compared to other places. So fast forward, I'm at a game at JPJ. There's nowhere better on campus arena, the whole thing. And I'm sitting. I don't want to brag, but I think I'm feet on the floor in the front row, and so I can go back and get Heineken's during the game. And it's halftime. And Jason Williams from Duke, who's the commentator, who I didn't know him. I'm coming back after to go back to the second half, and he's at the water fountain with me. I'm like, hey, Jason, my name's Doug Smith. I played in Virginia back with, you probably know Corey and Junior. That's my go-to, Corey and Junior.
Right.
He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, hey, bro, nice to meet you. Like his voice, whatever. And he's walking back out to work. And he stops. He turns back to me. And I'm like, I'm about to take a charge, right? Like, I'm going to get my first charge of my career. And he runs back. He goes, hey, let me tell you something. That place across the street was so much harder to play than this place. This place is soft. That place was tough. So isn't that a cool story? Yeah.
Oh, it is.
That's awesome.
Back down there in the thing. So yeah, I'm like, all right, Jason, I'm going to get 2 more Heineken's and go back, but I get
it. Yeah, Jay and I have that might be enough.
I'll be honest. Jeff and I are your standard white boy players. If you leave us open, we can stroke it. You put a hand in our face.
I'm not getting
That's so funny you say that. So my last year, we're at Maryland. And it's like January or February. The season's going on. And I get in the game, and Gary Williams is screaming at Johnny Rhodes, "Don't let Smith touch the ball. Don't let Smith touch the ball." You know, Johnny Rhodes is 6'5", 6'6", right? Long. And now I'm good. I turn to Coach. I'm like, "Coach Williams, leave me alone. Leave me alone, dude. There's way more better players to worry about than me." He's like, "No, I'm not letting you touch the ball." Fast forward, end of the game, we're down or up. We're down by 1 or 2 or something. And Corey's having a great game. Like, he's not passing, but he shouldn't be. And I'm on the wing. I'm wide open. There's like 57 seconds left. Whatever, 50. I'm wide open. But at some point, 3 guys just attack Corey because he's gonna shoot. And he just kind of, the ball falls out and it comes my way. I pick it up. Matter of fact, we make a 3 and we win. But I'm kind of mad because I'm not getting the ball. And after the game, the reporters all come to me like, Doug, you made the game-winning shot. I'm like, oh shit, you're right, I did. Let's talk.
And Corey probably tried to make it like he meant for the ball to come to you that way too.
Yeah. So this day he'll tell you, he's like, "Fresh, you used to drink beer in college. I didn't, so I know the story and you don't." I'm like, all right, Corey. I will tell you, something Corey doesn't get enough credit for because he's so talented. His basketball IQ was and is insane. He really knew as a young kid, he knew the game, man, and he knows it now. So, as you guys probably see.
Yeah, when he got to Virginia after his freshman year, I was sure we were going to make that run. And then when he broke his leg, I was just like, the devastation level was there. I think we started that year ranked in the top 10.
Yeah,
am I right, Jay?
Yeah, that was the year I think we went to Midnight Madness.
Yeah,
and
I was there. That Jeff Jones and Debbie Ryan doing the 3-point shot thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I was there.
Yeah,
we got our heart broke that year, but you played.
My year was Chris Alexander as a 4th or 5th year away from us being Final Four because he was still, Ted Jeffries had no help as a big man.
Right.
He had 5 fouls, and that was kind of it. Yeah. Dude, TJ is the greatest Wahoo ever.
Yeah, he developed his jumper by his senior year. That elbow shot was just automatic.
Dude, do you know how good of a passer he was? He was perfection. He'd turn and look at me on the other side. Coach Bray, Notre Dame coach, right? He coached him at Jonathan, and he said Duke used to prepare for him the way he gathered the ball out of the basket and started the break.
Oh wow.
How specific is that shit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So you guys winning Cameron against Grant Hill and Cherokee Parks. I believe Harley was still there. What was it like playing and winning at Cameron?
If I'm going to try to be cool and all that, it was phenomenal. It was great. But I remember 4 things. I remember we go to the game and Corey and those guys are their second year, right? My last year. So they're something. So Corey and Jason Williford specifically, he was like cheering with the Cameron Crazies an hour before and like pumping it up. My college girlfriend's best friend from home, he was like, "Hey, listen, Doug, I love you, but I'm gonna scream at you." And he started screaming like that. I was like, all right, that's right. And the game, so the first half, we come in the first half, and we were never down that game, by the way. I didn't realize. Yeah. And Coach Jones comes at me, because he always did, because Corey probably did something bad, so Coach Jones yells at me. And he's like, "Fresh, are you gonna wake up? You're not gonna play this half because of it." I'm like, I thought I was kind of good. So second half happens. Corey got in foul trouble. I came in, and I had 14 points in the last 12 minutes. And I did good. So we won the game. fast forward, we're running off the court, and I'm like, you guys, you young dudes don't realize this doesn't happen.
Right.
Ralph Sampson, right?
Yeah.
And Jason Williford's in the tunnel. Coach Jay Willie, the associate head coach of the university, he's like, Coach Wolf, Coach Ellerby, what's the Steelers score? What's the Steelers score? They were in the playoffs. We're like, Jason, you don't understand.
I think they were like.
I said there were 4
3
things. There's like 17. I get it. So the last one was the last day of winter break. So all the students will be back. It was Sunday night. So we knew the students would be back. So we're like, all right, we got some per diem. We got like $15 from the road trip. We're going out tonight. So we all went out and had a big party. It was a lot of fun. How about Jason though? Jason, you'll never do this again, maybe. And you just wanted he's like,
right.
What's the Steelers score? What's the Steelers score? And he played him and Cornell had really good games. But winning that, I'm not gonna lie, that was a lot of fun, a big deal, and we had a big party, and got a lot of attention.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure. That was a good night to have a good game.
Hey, JJ was like, "You're not playing next time." I'm like, "Come on, what did I do?" I had one turnover.
He said, "What did you do?"
Yeah, I'll send you guys in. You saw the game. You saw the highlights.
Yeah. So you played with I think you played. I know you played with Terry Kirby.
Yeah.
Did you also play with Percy Ellsworth?
Yeah, I did not. I love Percy, man, and we reconnected recently. He either played the year I left or the 2 years after.
Okay.
So, Kirby's Kirby. He had, some of the freakish dunks. And I don't know if you guys were ever there pregame. We would mess around, and he would lift me up and throw me up, and I'd dunk in pregame. Kirby. And Kirby, he was lifting me with, like, his index finger. He was just such a fun guy. One of the guys, the whole thing. Percy played after. So I came back from New York, and I'm in practice one day, and Corey's in his boot, right? He's hurt. He's like, Fresh, Percy? I'm like, yeah, Percy's the first year, my 4th year, whatever. And great guy. He's like, watch this. And Corey would throw him alley-oops, and Percy would just 360 alley-oops in practice. Yeah. He was an absolute – so I'll give you a great Percy story that I know from here on the ground. He was in the New York Giants, right? And my buddy – I think it was Kelly Holcomb. So Kelly Holcomb I grew up with on the practice squad, or Ryan Keel, somebody. Long story short, Percy's starting as a rookie for the Giants, right? And he's making this much money. Other guys that make this, and they said Percy used to sit in the hallway and see guys, he'd be like, overpaid. And that's from the inside. I'm sorry, Percy, but I know you said it.
So Percy. I went to high school, the same high school as Percy. So when he was doing his thing in high school, I would listen on the radio to some of his games when I couldn't go. But he was special. I got to see him play football and basketball in high school, so that was cool.
The guys were also cool. Where you're from is not very different from Fayetteville, Tennessee. Like, I feel like, you tell me if I'm wrong, there's like black people and white people, and we all go to school together, we all grow up together, and we're all the same, but there's crazy athletes across the board, whatever. So when I was at UVA, the football guys, the defensive backfield was all Tidewater area. And Chris Slade, of course, one of my great friends, and the whole thing. But they're all just great guys. Like, they seem happy to be there and work their ass off and just freak athletes. So I love that. Yeah,
there was that was kind of leading into my next question. You were at UVA during a very special football time.
Oh, man.
Great teams. Who were you close with, or closest with, I guess, and any great stories from those guys?
Yeah, so my year, Terry Kirby played with us, Matt Blunden played with us, and Matt was a great mentor. Man, he's like the consummate leader. You wanted to do whatever he did, you wanted to be like him, the whole thing. Kirby was just a great guy. He was a regular dude, except he just showed you how to work, Kirby. And Chris Slade and I just became really good friends. We had a cool thing. I would say C Slade, he'd be like D Smith across campus or during the game. Man, Greg Jeffries, Mike Frederick. I can't name enough names, but I always say this, and I say on Twitter sometimes. Saturday at Scott Stadium was amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm from a high school football powerhouse, Lincoln County High School in Fayetteville, Tennessee. My high school of 7,000, my town of 7,000 people has like 15 guys who played in the NFL.
Oh, wow.
Kelly Holcomb and it doesn't matter, Hightower. But man, being around those guys and just seeing, dude, Sean Moore is such a cool guy. Sean set the scene. I used to live in the northeast of Brazil. Sean Moore, Ted Jeffries, and Chris Slade came to visit me in Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Nobody knew who Sean was. Nobody knew who Slade was. Everybody in Rio thought Ted Jeffries was Shaq. Man, Sean is like the funniest. He's low key, and he was a big man on campus, right? You're the quarterback. You're a Heisman contestant.
Yep.
Man, he would mess with everybody. He'd come and grab me from behind. I was like, sophomore, like nobody, and he'd grab me and pull me up and make you feel good, give you a kiss on the cheek, like just funny stuff, man. But that's what UVA is great, man. We all loved each other. It doesn't matter anything either way. And Ray Roberts, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's so many great players in that time. You probably this is going to be a tough question. If you had to pinpoint one favorite memory of your time at UVA, could you do it?
My favorite time, my memory at UVA. It was probably my favorite was probably when Chris Havlicek came back to the dorm room and had a bloody eye, and he said, "You should have saw what happened to the other guy." So we haven't talked enough about Chris, dude. He asked anybody, football, basketball, lacrosse, women's field hockey, on hand, like the most ridiculously funny guy ever. He invented words and phrases. Him and Ted Jeffries, Chris Havlicek, Ted Jeffries together, unbelievable. And by the way, I will say that's just short of Big Red, Sean Wilson, rest in peace. If you guys remember Sean,
I didn't hear that name. Who?
Sean Wilson.
Okay.
From Nashville. We grew up sort of together, and we were roommates. And can we say this on the podcast? He had a bow and arrow because they wouldn't let him bring his rifles to college. And he would sure shot squirrels from across Tuttle to the psychology. Oh my gosh, we're getting canceled, guys.
Okay. The Cavalier
Great, and everybody meant well, and except for the bow and arrow.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So switching gears a little bit to the Tony Bennett era, more so my era. What is your communication like with Tony Bennett?
With him specifically?
Yeah.
He won't answer my calls. He won't text me back. He won't tweet. No, I'll tell you. Let's start. You asked the question, so I'm going to answer it. So when my oldest son's 24 and 21, they went to UVA soccer camp, right? And I didn't really care. But I knew Tony Bennett, and by the way, I knew Tony Bennett, the college basketball and the pro basketball player. A lot of respect. I didn't have a real opinion on him being the head coach at Virginia because I didn't really follow it, right? After Leto and Gillen, I didn't care. After Willie Durst, my buddy. So I go down, and I text Jason or call him. He's like, "Fresh, come across the street. We're having practice." I go in. My first interaction with Tony Bennett, man, it could not have been better. And I haven't been back, right, since Jeff Jones. And I'm down there with my buddy. Every single coach on his staff came over one at a time, and they stopped and said hello. You know, they paused. They have a job over there, right? But they're looking at me. They're talking, where you here? Oh, your sons, how old are they? What are they doing? And then Coach Bennett came over. And, man, he's just a charming dude, right? Like, he's so smooth and the whole thing. Other guys I couldn't remember, Ron Sanchez, I remembered later. And Coach Bennett. And so after that interaction, I'd see him a year later, 2 years later. He remembered every time. He's like, so what are your kids doing? The soccer players. Like, good.
Oh, wow.
And then
That's awesome.
A few years ago to an AAU thing in Brooklyn where Jason and Coach Williford and Jeff Jones and Brian Sitt were there. And I went out there with my buddy, and me and Jason and Tony Bennett went to lunch.
Okay.
And he just remembers, and he didn't want to talk about. He wants to talk about everything about you. You know, am I answering the question right? And then when they won the national championship, they won the national championship, and I go to this thing at the New York Athletic Club in New York City where he's getting the honor, and I think the LSU women's coach, right? I think it was her. Okay. And I come up and I see him. He goes, "Shake Shack," because that's where we had lunch.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, Coach, I just want to say thank you that you won me a national championship, and now number 11, Ty Jerome's number, my number is gonna get retired. No, but he's just. I go to practice. He comes over every time. You know, he dashes me up. He calls me Fresh. What's up, Fresh? You know, we good. He knows I'm a Wahoo, and I don't know. I don't know. There's nobody else I wish coached our basketball team than Coach Bennett. And everything is real that you hear. Mm-hmm. You know, you can criticize him. I criticize him, like different things. He didn't play Elijah last year. It's okay. But he's real, man, and it's what you see. So,
what was your reaction to the UMBC loss?
I tell you, the only thing I took away from that was I was happy that the coach of UMBC was Dave Odom's son, Ryan Odom. He was the ball boy for us. He wasn't for me. He was a good friend. If you guys know Tyreek Turner, who's kind of like a brother of mine up here. Tyreek, and do you guys know Tyreek or no?
I don't.
He went to Tab, but him and Tyreek played at St. John's. The only thing for me that was good was that it was that guy, and it kind of propelled him into a good thing. Now, at work, you get destroyed, right? Everybody's laughing at me, making fun of me.
We know all about it.
Yeah. So, Jack, fast forward. The next year, we're playing Gardner-Webb, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny, the first time, I work at a place called Susquehanna, and we trade. So we're not like in cubicles. We're like in a big open forum. And everybody on Wall Street, by the way, when NCAA tournament happens, they stop working, they watch the games, right?
Oh, wow.
And now we're watching, and the year before, everybody's talking shit. Now Gardner-Webb, we're down by 14. Nobody's saying a word to me. And I talk more shit than anybody in the world. They all shut up. I'm like,
oh, gosh.
They're like, oh, no, we can't get Fresh twice. But anyhow, we know how that is. We know how that is.
Yeah. So fast forward, we win the national championship. Where did you watch the game at? And, well, we were going to ask you, did you feel a part of that just off of being an alumni, which you've already told us? They won you a national title.
Man, the second part of that question is the most relevant. 100% felt a part of it. And that's why when I saw the coaches and players, you know, I saw DeAndre Hunter. I didn't say anything. I said, thank you, Kyle Guy. Thank you. Ty was with Ty. I was Ty's dad, Mark, who I'm good friends with. And Tony Bennett, thank you. But I was in Minneapolis. I flew out. What was the game? Saturday, right? The first game, Saturday. I had a return ticket Sunday. And again, to give your boy Corey Alexander his prop, he moves in silence. He came out late for that game, and he was like, Fresh, you're with me. You're staying in my hotel. I got you, whatever. I came with a backpack. All my friends were calling me homeless. Like, I'm going back tomorrow. The next day, everybody's like, you can't go back. You got to change the tickets. So I changed it. I don't think I've had a better weekend in my life, man. and I felt a part of it, and I really did. I felt like the best part is, I don't know if were you guys there or not.
No, we watched on TV.
It's one of the greatest.
So I would have been just as happy to watch it on my TV. I'm telling you. But in the arena, a really, really good friend of mine had tickets for us. We were in the 17th row behind our bench, which 17th row in a football arena, you're like 80 yards away, but whatever. Right. Upstairs, where the bars and the whole thing are, man, when we won against Auburn, it was every kind of UVA person, 12 years old, 17, 20, black, white, green, red, gray, just hugging and having a blast. And I ran into so many people. I don't know a better way to, try to replicate that. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. I was whatever age I was, in my 40s somewhere. And I was bouncing around, jumping like I was 10 years old. Like, I mean, I don't remember the last time I was so excited like that. It's like I had just played in that game. I watched the whole second half standing up, pacing the floor.
But that's over. I don't think other schools get. I don't know. I haven't. Whatever that team did, they made all of us felt like it was ours, right? And not just because I'm a player. You guys feel the same as me, right?
Yeah. It was like a finishing of the story, that started the year before, and you just couldn't write a movie with a better. I mean, the Purdue game, it looks like you're going out, and then the Auburn game, it looks like you're out. And then Texas Tech, you blow the lead. And if, Ty makes that pass to Hunter in the corner, if he doesn't sink that three, we lose, as a fan,
don't
like I said earlier, that's probably the greatest regret of my life not going.
Nah, I don't regret it. The thing that bothers me about Coach Bennett's teams is, and I'll tell you, London, parentheses, I think he likes to be down to come back to prove himself. We're playing Auburn, and I sit next to my buddy who bought the tickets and had me in the seat and the whole thing. I'm like, dude, we're gonna blow them out. And next thing you know, here they come. Texas Tech the next time. Yeah, we're blowing their ass out. Boom, here they come back. I don't understand that part about it, and I don't have I know a lot about basketball, and I watch it. I don't really have a reason why that, right? And then I guess that's the Virginia, as a Virginia fan, you sort of suffer and understand that.
It's the Virginia way.
That makes sense?
Well,
by the way, somebody on Locker Room Access said we played at North Carolina State my sophomore year, and long story short, we were up by 20 in the first half. They came back and beat us. I don't remember that.
Was that the Fire and Ice team with Googs?
Oh yeah, you nailed it. Yeah. No, Ice went off that night. Fires. Wait, who's Ice? Rodney Monroe?
Yeah, it was Corciani. I think Corciani was Ice. I might be wrong.
He was Fire. Ice is Rodney Monroe. He went off.
Yeah,
I had a nice game. I'll send you guys the thing, but whatever. And Googs had 9 points and fouled out. By the way, dude, what an NBA. Wow. So I'll tell you guys something before I forget. I'm talking about me. The ACC, back when you guys watched it, every single game, Clemson, Maryland, UNC, Duke, there were 4 to 8 NBA guys in the court every game, right? Mm-hmm. And now, I get it, one and done or two or transfer or whatever. But think about that. What I was, not me, but when we were playing up against and the guys I would see, and Dale Davis and Eldon Campbell. Yeah. I'm trying to go down and make a layup. I scored a layup at home in U-Haul. And I saw Dale Davis coming, but I laid it up, and I think I'm a sophomore. And he hit the backboard so hard, I thought U-Haul would crash. We didn't even have to implode it. And I made it. And I ran back down the court like I was Usain Bolt. I was so fast. I got so excited.
Yeah, Jack, that definitely were the glory days. If you won 8 games in the ACC, you were a high seed NCAA tournament. Now, shoot, last year Virginia won whatever we finished at, and we were on the bubble.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So we got Kyle Guy back as a coach. How good do you think that hire is for IMAC?
I think so. I'll give my honest opinion, not to be like media type guy. I think Kyle Guy, for him personally, is extremely smart. If he's done and he wants to get into coaching, he picked a really good time. Because otherwise, Kihei would have taken the position. I'm kidding, but I think it's extremely good for the program, the overall program. I don't think it's very relevant for the staff because it's not just something you see from the outside. And the guy's a great basketball coach from the beginning, right?
Right.
But I think program-wise, you guys tell me. And I don't understand this. I don't think there's any more popular player since Ralph Sampson than Kyle Guy. People absolutely.
Joe Harris, I would say, would be a close comp.
Who?
Joe Harris, because he got us that first
right.
ACC tournament championship. That team is near and dear to the heart too.
Yeah.
But
so Kyle Guy making those free throws.
Kyle, right?
Yeah.
It's Kyle. We were talking. I was talking with my supervisor today at work. He's a Virginia diehard too, and so Kyle has definitely been the most popular guy. Now Ty Jerome's my favorite guy from that team. Jerome, I mean, he was a killer. He loved to go into Cameron and let him know what he thought, and nothing bothered him.
Man, you must have heard me, Jeff, because I always said, even to his dad, I'm like, your son is a killer, dude. He's a killer. He was 100% the most valuable player of that tournament in 2009.
Yeah, no question.
And I think, from what I know about Virginia, I get Ralph, but sadly Ralph didn't win. He should have. But I think Ty Jerome is the most important player, most important player in the history of Virginia basketball. Like what he did.
Mm-hmm.
You can certainly make it argument.
DeAndre Hunter, he's skilled, but he just didn't have that, I don't know, killer mentality. It's something about it. Jerome, it's just something about Jerome.
But it started with Jerome. He was the distributor, but he could also score. My favorite Jerome play was the game at Duke. At the end of the game, when he faked the pass and took it from about 5 feet from behind the 3-point line and just daggered.
Ring.
They showed those the Duke cheerleaders looking at each other like,
"That's right." I love trolling. Well, whatever, trolling Duke between us is like he passed the ball to like nobody. He fake passed to nobody, and everybody fell for it.
Yeah.
Dude, Ty just I met him and I know him a little bit, but I don't know him very man. I love it.
Yeah.
And I think Ty, like he brought, I think him and I'll share some. His dad Mark said him and DeAndre didn't necessarily like each other in the beginning, but they're best friends now.
Oh.
Ty brings people up like we're gonna work, man. We're gonna work hard, and Ty is a relentless, hard worker, and bring those guys to the gym with him. So, shit, they won the NCAA championship, man.
That's right. Oh, so I gotta ask you, when Corey Smith or when Corey Alexander, corrected the call against Florida, did you text him and say, "What are you doing"?
I should probably say no comment, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you what happened. Our group chat, a player not to be named ever or later, hit the group chat. Corey, what the fuck are you doing? And followed by Corey, what the fuck? And then Corey, what the fuck? There were 27 of those. And, but Corey, you know what? I'll tell you though. Corey said, "Listen, my integrity is intact. I stand by what I did, and the whole." And he listen. I don't do that for a job. I don't know how that works, right?
Right.
I don't know. And by the way, Corey was wrong on the call. Yeah. But that's fun. Corey's never wrong, and so everybody was kind of laughing the whole thing. And no, they weren't laughing. People were mad. People were not mad, but text mad,
right?
Fake whispering.
Like, what are you doing?
But I will say, I don't know. You guys do Twitter or whatever. I sent a tweet out. And it's the only one that anybody's ever looked at. Because I saw everybody on Twitter like Corey Alexander sucks, and Corey. I'm like, hold up, forget that. Corey Alexander's this, that, whatever. And I had I don't know, it was 35,000 views, which is my most views are 100. And I told my oldest son, I'm like, guys, look at this. What is this? They're like, damn, we don't know what you're talking about. We don't like basketball. We play soccer, but that's a lot of. You might be able to get paid. But I just don't like that stupid stuff of I'm gonna come kill you because you made the wrong basketball call. But,
oh yeah,
yeah.
And it was. You know what was funny? Every game's the most important, right? And that was Florida in November, probably, right? And Blake Buchanan was a Naismith final in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was the second game of the year.
Yeah, so different. It's so doesn't. But Corey likes to be involved, as you guys know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Junior Burrow, when we talked with him months ago now, I think when we asked him about it, he said something about that's just who Corey is. He said you guys would be playing pickup basketball in the gym and at game point, and he'd give the ball up because of some foul or some turnover. He said, "Oh yeah, we did it. Just hand the ball over."
No, that's right. Well, Corey's also big with. So you went up that way, and the ball went that way. So physics said that it's our ball. That's and that's I harp on this. Guys don't play pickup anymore, man. I don't think they all have personal trainers and and all that. We played pickup, man, and there was those kind of rules, the thing, and Corey's old school.
Yeah. So I know you're obviously you're friends with Jason Williford.
Yeah.
Do you ever text him after those losses, like the tournament loss, where we just look so awful, and just ask, what is going on?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I have enough opinions and enough people to talk about what's going on that I think I know what's going on. But you know what's funny with Jason and all our guys? We don't talk about anything basketball.
Yeah.
It's not. If I know a kid or a player and it's a recruit, we'll do some of that. But it's Jason doesn't text me about my job and say, why does the stock market go up or go down? And Jason is a competitive dude. Coach Bennett asked me that time I told you we had lunch. He's like, what was Jason like as a player? I'm like, what Jason was like, if he's on your team, he's on your team. He's off your team, he's not on your team. And he's that way, and and Jason wears it on his sleeve. He doesn't laugh at it and say, "Hey, I make X $100,000. This job's easy." He wears it, man. He's a competitive guy. So
I hope we keep him around, but I know he's going to be a head coach one day, and selfishly we want to keep him, but I'm sure sometime that's going to come.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good where he's at. I don't have any answer. We don't even talk about. We talk about the kids and our played and girls we used to like in college and all that stuff. And the one got away. That was me, not him. He got his didn't get away. Mine all got away. But it's funny, man. Look, he's good professionally. His wife's great professionally. His kids are good, and that stuff. I tell them they better stop messing around and play Elijah Gertrude more. But you guys know that story.
Oh yeah.
So you, Mark Jerome, and your teammate Chris have a fun show and have some cool gear available on your website. How did that all come to be? And tell everyone how they can find it.
I'll tell you right now. So the guy TW is the guy that started it. It's called Locker Room Access, lockerroomaccess.com. The greatest story is it was 2019. Guys, it was 2019. Are they loud?
No, you're fine.
So they were TW, Tenway was at the NCAA tournament 2019, and he's always been friends with all the players. So he's really tight with Justin Anderson, Ty, guys, Sean Singletary back in the day, etc. And he made us a hoodie, and he wore it out. And Justin grabbed him after we won the championship. He's like, "Yo, you got to like sell this, whatever." And he's like, "I have an idea to make this website, Locker Room Access." He's like, "Do it." So TW started the website. Ty Jerome and Justin are the owners of it. TW started calling guys to be involved. Mark Jerome got involved. He called Corey Alexander. Corey said, "Call Fresh." Fresh will be me. And we started doing it. We did, pandemic type time. We did a lot of podcasts. If you guys can search, I'm not sure if you have, like, it's Brian Stith, Jeff Jones, John Crotty, John Crotty. We'd be like, let's do an hour and a half. And we'd be talking, and we're like, "You guys all right?" He's like, "Yeah, let's keep going." JJ, Coach Jones did like a 3-hour podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Brian Stith, 3 hours.
Man.
I watched a little bit of Stith. I haven't seen Crotty's.
Man, Stith. By the way, does anybody have a better speaking cadence than Brian Stith? Like the way he talks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His favorite line to me is, "Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man." Wait, I lost the question. What am I answering? Locker Room Access. So, but the great thing about it, it's free at the site, and dude, there's really smart people, man, talking about basketball. And you'll be like, I'll say, Tane Murray should have played before Andrew Rohde. And they're like, well, if you go by the Ken Pond stuff, like, you're wrong. I'm like, fuck you, Ken Pond. But it's cool if you're really into that stuff. It's really good. And I read it. I so.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And they love you guys, by the way. They love this. That's important to me.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Thank
We
you.
love that.
We've been trying to get Bryant Stith. So I had a connection, and we were texting. I was texting with Bryant, and he was really busy with recruiting at the time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I haven't been able to hear back from him. But that's another one. I told you, texting with you and Junior and Bryant. I was like, this is crazy. But yeah.
Jeff actually called me and said, "You're not even going to believe who I'm texting right now."
Who's that?
And it was Stith. It was Stith at that time.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh my gosh! If you'd have told our 13-year-old self,
Absolute great.
But we started this as a therapy session, honestly, for post games and whatnot, and it's blossomed into honestly, like, conversations like this. We're living our dream.
Yeah. Nah, that's I love it, man. I love again, dude. I'm from Fayetteville, Tennessee. I had no Virginia affinity. I'll tell you my last story. My senior year in high school, before I was even offered, I went to the ACC tournament in Atlanta, Georgia. Right? This is the best thing I can say about Virginia. And I'm with my fake little brothers. Like, they're not blood brothers, but like brothers. And we're sitting up there, and their dad brings me to the game. And I'm in the Omni looking down. It's Virginia Duke. And there's two guys, a woman, a girl, and a dude, like, in Virginia gear. And they're probably like 27. So I'm 17. So they're old, right?
Right.
And they're alumni. And my boy Chill Will, he's like, "Hey, you guys went to Virginia?" Like, "Yeah, I went to Virginia." And he looks at me, and he's younger than me. He goes, "This guy's being highly recruited by both these teams. It was Clemson, Duke, and Virginia." And it's funny. And they looked at me. Sorry to be so. They looked at me, the couple, and they go, "Hey, if you can go to the University of Virginia, and you go, it will change your life forever."
Yeah.
And shit, I wanted to go to, like, wherever, Syracuse, North Carolina. So I did, and I wish I would ever be able to know who those people were. There's no chance, but they spoke truth, man. It changes your life forever.
And that was our interview with Dougie Fresh. Just a entertaining interview. So many great stories. I got to say, Dougie Fresh is such a great storyteller. He had us laughing the whole episode, and it was a lot of fun. My favorite line right there at the end: "If you choose UVA, it'll change your life forever." That couple told him, and he said, "It did change my life forever." And you look at Virginia, the Virginia family as a whole, basketball, football, all the sports, and us doing this for about 18 months now, and we've definitely learned how close the UVA community is. And it's an unbelievable family, and I don't know if it's like that at all the schools. And if you've listened to our show at all, and Jay and myself, we love, of course, current UVA, but we eat up that 90s football and basketball, as that's our childhood and when we grew up. So, we've had several of the players from that 90s basketball team to play with Doug Smith, and we'll probably have some more of those in our best of episodes, and including another great one we had was with Coach Jones. And actually, Dougie Fresh made a guest appearance on that one as well. The last thing I did want to mention, it was kind of interesting that when he brought up, when Jack asked about the UMBC loss, and the only positive of it was Dave Odom's son, the current, little did we know at that time, would be now the current UVA basketball coach, Ryan Odom. And as a positive, he was the ball boy when Dougie Fresh was there at UVA, and how that propelled his career. And little did we know at the time it would propel him to, here we are, April in 2025, and now he's our head basketball coach. Before we get going, I do want to share, they have great content at lockroomaccess.com. Go to their website, look at all kinds of articles on there. They do have gear on there. And also then if you check them out on X, Facebook, YouTube, go to YouTube channel and search their podcast. They've had, as Dougie Fresh was talking about during the COVID period, they have, you name them, they had them on. Just great episodes, great to listen to. TW, he was on with us just a couple weeks ago. Great guy. And we need to get the whole crew on here at one time. I just could sit back and listen to stories. And that episode with Dougie Fresh, I don't remember how many questions we had, prepared, but we didn't ask all the questions. Dougie Fresh, he tells such good stories, and we didn't have to ask many of the questions. So it was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more best of episodes. They'll be coming in the weeks ahead. Thank you for tuning in, and we